Thank you for coming. Just a few notices first of all. We have Kelly arrived here. She's DHS Centrelink. She'll be offering services at the health centre Sunday between the hours of 9 to 5. We've had information from Red Cross. There'll be a psychologist, one specialising in children, another in just adults. They'll be at the health centre pretty much all next week, business hours. I'll just hand over to, we have Abby from Wildlife who'd like to say a few things. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. I just thought I'd step in and give you a bit of an update. I'm the triage coordinator from DELP that's operating the triage centre in the wonderful Muddy that we have there. So I just wanted to give you a quick update of some numbers. So far I've seen 110 animals have come through, and we've had obviously quite a lot of koalas come through. I think we've had about 66 koalas come through. We've had birds, possums, gliders, echidnas, frogs. We've looked at macropods, so kangaroos, wallabies have come through as well, and also really pleased to let you know we had 3 releases this morning, so successful releases. So what they're coming in, the koalas that are coming in at the moment are actually, they're not need critical care, so they're actually able to be assessed and then re-released. And we've got 2 currently at the moment, and they'll also go out tomorrow, which is fantastic. So we're not seeing as many. We still have field crews out there in the areas searching and looking for animals. I hope you still will have that 1300 number, so if you ever see any wildlife that you believe you want assessed or large amount of animals in the area that need to be seen, you can either drop into the local Muddy down there or call that 1300 number. And do you all have that number? Did you write it down last time? I'm going to have to look it up. Bear with me and I'll just look it up. But is there any questions about the triage centre or the wildlife or anything like that? Yes?
I'd like to make a speech on the loudspeakers, if I may.
Okay, is that okay?
Regarding what?
About wildlife.
Okay, yeah, sure. Is it brief?
I won't do anything controversial.
Is it brief?
Yeah, very brief.
Yeah, go fine.
Yeah.
Peter would just like to say something.
G'day, I'm Peter Kurtz from Mallacoota from the Carcassonne Hill, which got half burned and half left lucky. My concern is that we are not really doing enough for our wildlife. I can see them every day cutting lawns. We had some wonderful rain, so the lawn should be very tidy, but at the moment maybe we should think of all the other animals as well. The kangaroos, even the rabbits, all of them are desperately hungry. We see them at home. Margaret feeds as many as she can, but there's hundreds of them. The best example was yesterday when I went past the town, and somebody was cutting the lawn for the national park. So I went in and said, "Why are you cutting the lawn today?" And I said, "Well, we've got a contractor here, we can't stop him." And I said, "During a time of misery for everybody, why can't we show a little bit of emotion for the animals as well?" So my quiet answer is this: if you have lawns, don't cut them for a while. Let the animals come in. We might be untidy, but it's high time we think of more than ourselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'll just read you that 1300 number. So it's 1300 356 683. I'll read that again. It's 1300 356 683. Just like to tell you another side to what we've also done is when we had our wildlife response officers turn up here originally, they actually got up in a helicopter and they've actually had a look over the whole area to look for release sites and also to look for animals that are sick and injured and areas that we can get into. So we're really getting out there and assessing. What I do in the morning, I also go to the briefing, which is at 8 o'clock at the CFA, and I actually brief all the crews, so the strike force team, the firefighters and all that. I give them this number, and they've been calling us in, so we actually go out and treat all the animals that they're seeing on the ground. So we have lots and lots of people out there looking for wildlife, but it's been really fantastic with local knowledge and the community really helping us. So I just wanted to say thank you again for welcoming us and assisting us in the treatment of the wildlife that you have here. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Abby. Tomorrow you may notice a slight increase in traffic and pedestrians as they come back into town, back to their houses, and also to collect their property from the foreshore caravan parks. Things have been put in place, plans have been put in place to coordinate this, so it'll be a big day for the agencies, but everything's well and truly in hand. Saying that, I'll ask any of the other agencies if there's a report by exception. Anyone like to say anything?
So, Wayne Richards, East Gippsland Shire Council. Yeah, really, as mentioned, we've got a real focus on tomorrow, in particular around visitors returning to the caravan park and being able to transition them smoothly and give them a good experience and not have them waiting too long, those sorts of things. Picking up their keys, picking up their vans, and trying to encourage them to leave tomorrow reasonably quickly. Ideally, if they can buy a coffee and a cake on the way out, those sorts of things, but really trying to make that process as positive and as smooth as possible. Also noting we've got residents returning as well, so yeah, again, a big focus on making that process nice and smooth. I guess another quick update just around the holiday park. So looking at, obviously it's quite full of vans and cars at the moment, but really conscious of progressing towards the park being operational again. So at the moment it's going to remain closed for probably the next 2 weeks. After those 2 weeks we are not taking any more bookings, but there's obviously a number of established bookings, so those bookings at the moment will remain in place, so that we can sort of allow our processes and allow the park to get back up to full operation. So working towards that, and again making that process as smooth as possible. So there's those 2 updates. But if you've got any questions from a council perspective?
Once again, with the Shire, can you allow the Shire not to cut the grass for a few weeks and allow the animals to eat as well? Don't just think for our tidiness, think for the bigger picture.
We can certainly have a look at that. We're also really conscious of trying to get back to essentially a sense of normality and people going through their own established routines and those sorts of things. So certainly that can be looked at in certain areas, but we do also want to keep things moving along, I suppose, and back to normality.
How are people returning?
So my understanding at the moment is that there is 9 flights tomorrow, 9 flights of up to, I believe, 30. In saying that, I know that they're not all fully booked. 6 of those flights are direct to Mallacoota. 3 of them are going to Marimbula and being bussed in. As well as that, I'm sure we'll hear in a minute, but the road out to New South Wales currently is able to be accessed, and as of tomorrow, the road back to Cairn River, my understanding is that that's going to be open to registered people from 8 to 8, and does require a permit, but yeah, there will be people coming in by road.
So there's travel beyond Cairn River?
And travel, yes, so once you get to Cairn River, then the road is open. On that road, my understanding is that there's a section of about 10 kilometres which will be one way. So there is an expectation there'll be long delays, so an hour plus potentially on those areas.
On social media today, a lot of people were complaining that they were coming all the way from Melbourne or somewhere else to pack up, and everything by the time they got here and be out again was a bit of a hard time, but they were wanting to know why
Look, that's understood, but I guess what we're also conscious of is if there's large numbers coming in and they're all wanting to stay a day, a week or longer, then that is potentially a difficult process for the services and the community to deal with. So ideally, if we can get them to come in and move off. As I said, they're welcome to stay a little bit. If they really need to stay, then there's accommodation available in town. But I guess what we want to avoid is a large number of people coming in at one point and not being able to address that correctly.
We don't want to generate this breakdown.
No,
Not being able to.
yeah, but I think what they were worried about, some people are saying it takes us 2 days to set up. It's probably going to take us that much as months. If we've got canvases up there.
Well, as you can imagine, we're being very flexible,
Yeah.
showing a lot of discretion, so I suggest don't read social media.
Yeah, it doesn't worry me.
Just in terms of movement in and out of Mallacoota, we are showing a lot of discretion and flexibility in a very dynamic situation. No one, I think, is being hard done by, and I think a lot of grief has come from social media, so my suggestion is don't read it.
Any other questions, Brian?
Could you explain the permit system, please?
Could you say that again?
Could you explain the permit system for going out?
The permit system for going out.
Yes.
Okay.
Identification.
Okay. Is that you're suggesting that for the visitors who are leaving?
Well, anybody else.
Residents.
Yeah, they will have a permit when they enter, and they will have a permit when they leave. That's pretty much it in a nutshell.
As a resident, how do we go to go now?
If you want to go out through to the west,
Yes.
I'm just going to have to throw that over to who's more versed in that system at the moment.
So to get the permits, currently being issued from the Camp Park office. So you essentially need to come in, show ID, so driver's licence, and we will issue a permit, which is stuck on the car.
Okay, some information from Colin Sam from the World Centre Kitchen, or Central Kitchen. You'll have to correct me on that, Sam.
Good afternoon. First off, I've only had the opportunity to come down here a couple of times over the last couple of weeks. Really lovely community. It's been really nice getting to know a lot of you. I work with a disaster relief nonprofit called the World Central Kitchen, founded by a well-known chef, Jose Andres, and we go all around the world. Cyclones in Mozambique, hurricanes in the Bahamas, and we normally do like large-scale feeding of really good food here in Mountain, and that's what we're doing up in Bermagui. We have a kitchen that we're driving all the way up to Mogo and things like that. Here in Mallacoota, we've kind of realized it's a very different situation, especially with the lack of tourism this year, and how that's hurting some of the local businesses, so especially food businesses. So we've set up a program called Feel Good Feeds. We just started it today. It'll run through all of next week, ending on Sunday. And essentially what it does, anywhere in town, any of the restaurants where you see one of these out front, if you're a Mallacoota resident, you can go in, show them your ID, and they will give you one of these punch cards. And what that entitles you to is 7 meals, up to $20, that we'll pay for. So, that way, it allows you to go support your local businesses. The tab is on us. Sit down, relax, share the wealth. Everything over from Organic Coffee to Lee's Takeaway, all the different places, support. We believe that the cafe and the culinary, industry really is the heartbeat of any community. So we're happy to do that through at least next week. And then moving forward, depending on how this next week goes, we might be able to extend it a bit farther, not for the whole community, but for those who might have lost their businesses, jobs, or homes. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, we're excited to work through it with you guys and see how it works. And hopefully people just feel good and that they're able to go sit down to a nice meal that we're paying for, and also supports their local businesses. Yeah. If people don't have ID, explain that to the business. I think it's a beautiful town where everybody knows, and so they know who's from here. They'll just make a note. So when you go to sign up, the businesses will give you one of these punch cards, right? And the first time you go to one of the businesses with one of these banners, they'll take a photo of your ID, and the punch card will write your name on it, and then you get 7 punches at all the different restaurants. If you've lost your ID, I'm sure the government is helping you to get a new one. In the meantime, I trust the community and the owners of the businesses to realize what situation you're in, so they'll just make a note. Any other questions? So it'll go all through next week, exactly. So we kind of started the day just a little bit. It's going to be for a week, but it'll include tomorrow all the way through next Sunday. And then the week after that, we'll look at how it is that we can adjust it for a longer period of time for the community members that can benefit the most. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Sam. A couple more things. The next community meeting will be Monday this time. I'm pretty sure there's a community barbecue, 1 p.m. golf club tomorrow. And before I conclude, any questions for me, please? Thank you very much.